Everyone, Mike Kirkby-Sing from Lumsden and Balfour Presbyterian Church. Hey, hope you're doing well. This is just a brief, under 10-minute word based on the message that we're sharing in our service on Sunday. Really for people that can't make it, anyone else that wants to tune in. Hey, bless you guys. Question for you is, does God answer our prayers? Does God answer our prayers? In Matthew 7, verses 6 to 7, Jesus says, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you'll find. Knock and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks the door will be opened." So this is a wonderful invitation, but you may wonder, really, is this really the case? I mean, does God always answer our prayers? Does he always give what we ask for? Is Jesus saying if we name and claim something, we'll always have it? Or, on the other hand, is prayer about just kind of resigning ourselves to fate? We know that not every prayer gets answered, so is it just kind of resigning ourselves to that? Well, obviously creating a doctrine or a teaching about prayer from one verse is always a bad idea in Scripture, interpret Scripture, so we should look to other places to help us understand what Jesus is saying here. And fortunately, we've got lots of teaching. I just want to look at what Jesus says in Matthew chapter 6, the teaching on prayer. Jesus says in Matthew chapter 6, verse 5, "When you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they'll be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. This then is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we have also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one." And so we learn a little bit more about prayer from this. Firstly, prayer shouldn't be about performing before others and trying to impress them. Secondly, prayer isn't about trying to impress God either. It's not about performing before God, trying to manipulate him. But then in the Lord's Prayer, we see that prayer is much more than praying for our own needs. It's about praying for God's will to be done, for his name to be honoured. So when we come before God, and Jesus says we can ask and seek and knock, we remember that we come before a loving and sovereign God who knows what we need, and he invites us. This is a real privilege for us to be able to come before God in prayer. So in our reading, Jesus encourages us, doesn't he, to do this? And he shows us why. If you look at verse 9 to 11, "Which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake?" Like, which of you parents would do that? "If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your father, gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him?" How much more? How much more? I mean, if we know what kind of things we should give our kids, how much more does our Father in heaven? And he can't be kind of manipulated into giving us things that actually are against his will. Our kids can sometimes do that. They can beat us down, wear us down, and so that we give in. But God isn't like that. He just gives us what we need. Not everything we ask for is what we need. But God knows, because it's according to his will. Now, God sees that bigger picture. We don't always see that bigger picture. And we see this in the life of Jesus, actually, in the Gospels, because Jesus and the Father and Son are one. So Jesus knew the Father's will. But those around him didn't always know what actually was the will of God. And the greatest test of all, Jesus prayed for that cup to be taken from him. But not as I will, but as you will, he prayed. He prayed that ultimately God's will would be done, which was his will as well. Now, the difference for us is that we're not God, we're not Jesus, so we don't always know. I mean, he's much bigger than us, so we don't always know what it is or what the will of God is. But we can trust him because he cares for us. So he's a caring Father, so we can trust him with our needs. Again, which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? If he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? Now, which of you? We know that stones can't feed us or feed our children, and snakes might kill our children. And even pretty Bad fathers wouldn't do that. And so Jesus says, if you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father give good gifts to those who ask him? So parents can provide what their children need. How much more will God? As children of God, we don't always know the Father's will, but we know that the Father is sovereign and he cares for us. Jesus isn't saying we'll get everything that we want, but we'll get what we need in accordance with his will. So Jesus is encouraging us. He's encouraging me because I need encouragement. He's encouraging you to pray to the Father, to ask, to seek, and to knock, to persevere in prayer. In the parallel, if you look at the parallel, you see Luke gives a little illustration of perseverance where someone perseveres. So this is an encouragement to go to our sovereign, loving God and bring him all our prayers. Ask and seek and knock. Keep asking, seeking, and knocking. Well, friends, I hope this has been encouragement to you. Pray that everything's going well for you. Here's some YouTube stuff. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. Maybe. Well, that's just been a brief word. Blessings all. Until next time. See ya.